sometimes you have to stoke the fire to see what we're about as a team, and I think that's all today was about. Obviously, we don't want it to continue and to mess up practice and slow things down, but I think it was good for today.
Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Training Camp Wrap-Up presented by the UPMC Health Plan. I'm Mike Prisuta, joined as always on this program by Craig Wolfley. That was TJ Watt leading us into today's discussion point, and that, of course, Wolf, the dust-up at the tail end of practice. It was building for a while. I guess the heat probably had something to do with it, but quite a fracas. I thought for a moment I was back at the Spectrum in my native Philadelphia watching the Flyers play the Rangers in 1975.
Yes, it was indeed. You know, it's not something that you really want and look forward to, but it is a natural dissipation of a lot of chippiness that occurs out there when you have something like this cook up. Look, the fact of the matter is somebody took advantage of your quarterback. It's a great teaching lesson. You get around the pile, you sheriff the pile, you protect your own. And though you don't want, you're all on the same team, it's still unit competing against unit. So that's a natural outbreak of a lot of aggressive guys with high testosterone getting after it just the way it should be. Got a little out of hand, but they quickly reined it in. That's a good thing. I like that.
I kind of liked it too.
Oh, yeah. No, look, it happens, You got a lot of alpha males down on that field. You got to figure out the alphas and the betas. You get that separated. You got to figure out the guys that are the leaders in the clubhouse. Those are the guys that step forward. We saw some of that. Calmer heads prevailed. Things got cooled out. But, yeah, you can't let anybody take advantage of your quarterback if you're an offensive lineman. Now, if it's a defensive guy and it's your guy in the middle of it that kind of started it, well, you got to come to his aid. That's the way it is.
The interesting part to me, and the hit you're referencing, Justin Fields on a read option keeper, and he's running past Landon Roberts, and Landon Roberts throws a shoulder into him, and then there were two sounds, Roberts hitting Fields and Fields hitting the ground. But Mason McCormick, the rookie offensive lineman, did not like it, and he came flying over and blasted Roberts, and then everybody, it seemed, was at least yelling or pointing or threatening or taking part in some other fashion. There were some officials here on campus today. It was raining yellow flags, which was kind of funny. But Wolf, a rookie, taking that upon himself. Mike Tomlin said they got to be more professional, and Nate Herbig, the veteran center, said, "I love it."
Well, let me just tell you this, and to quote Mike Tomlin, I'd rather say whoa than to say pick it up. The fact of the matter is what you got is a young buck stepping forward, doing what I talked about. You got smash, bash, and crash, the three rookie linemen. All three guys are known for their physicality. All three guys are known for their finishing, going to from snap to whistle. All three guys are known for putting a little extra jelly in their work. By that extra jelly, what we used to reference back in the day about putting an elbow in a guy, a knee, pushing off, whatever it is that you've got to do, a little agitation, but it's also a sign of dominance, and that sort of thing. And you've just got alpha males out there going at it. But look, you got to protect your own. And I know for a Landon, if I recall, there was a circumstance where last year, something like that happened, and there was no response from the offense. It's good to see the response this year.
I think it was kind of building. A couple periods prior to that, Fields ran on a scramble, and there were whistles, and then I saw the ball come out. I think Larry Ogunjobi poked it out late, but it was right over by the defensive sideline, so they were all hooting and hollering and calling for turnover, and then that was maybe the first straw. And then later on, another run, and again, the crowd forms and the thing bogs down and the ball comes out late. That was a Jonathan Ward run. But this tells me, the defense is continuing to poke, prod. They're hunting the football. They're trying to pry it out.
You're right.
Any way they can. And then just before the fracas broke out, Najee Harris took a handoff up the middle, and Patrick Queen rode him for about 10 yards, Wolf, trying to get the ball out. Harris wouldn't let that ball come out. He was protecting it like a newborn. So I think by then temperatures were pretty high, and the Landon Roberts thing just sent it over the top.
Unquestionably so. Look, you're on one hand, you got ball security skills being practiced by the offense. On the other hand, you got ball searching being hunted by the defense. So something's going to happen in there. And with great extra effort, you're going to have these sorts of things, guys being guys. And look, it is a very physical game. obviously it's going to be a teaching tool for Mike Tomlin and to be able to talk about, hey, listen, in a game, the game's bigger than the personal scrums. Whatever your problem is, remember that the game is bigger. It started with Larry O. Well, if you remember Larry O, did you see the tomahawk he put on Justin Fields? He went after that ball. He whacked that thing, and it's a good thing he got the ball because he might have disemboweled poor Justin because that guy is a massive guy, and he was able to knock that ball out. So these things will happen, but you know what? It's just a result of guys going hard, going after it, being physical, and trying to finish the play.
Practice started with 7 shots, as it has 4 times out of 5. Now the offense won again 4-3 and leads the signature short yardage / 2-point conversion drill 18-17 through the early going here at training camp. Justin Fields threw incomplete for George Pickens. Jaylen Warren ran for a touchdown. Fields hit Van Jefferson. There's that guy again. He is periodically making plays out here. He made a nice one-handed catch on a ball that was thrown behind him for a conversion. Najee Harris scored, but holding, so that one didn't count.
I wasn't there. I didn't do it. Just to make sure.
Then Kyle Allen threw incomplete. He scrambled for a TD. And on the 7th rep, Mike Tomlin, as is his habit, put all the starters back in on both sides, and Najee Harris ran it in for a touchdown. So that's 3 touchdowns in 4 days for Harris, not counting the one that got called back for the penalty. 4-3 on the offense. T.J. Watt, who basically sat out teamwork today. He did some individual stuff, but did not work in 11-on-11 play. He talked about 7 shots in the offense and the defense's reaction to that.
Decisive, getting the ball out quickly, and they're able to control line of scrimmage in the run game, which is something that we need to take more pride in as a defense, and hopefully we get corrected soon.
TJ, on paper, this looks like it could be the best defense since you've been here. What has to happen for that to happen?
Control the line of scrimmage, stop the run. I mean, all the normal things when we need to be able to not have those big explosive plays. Last year we had too many explosive plays, explosive runs. We need to eliminate those and hopefully create more splash.
What's the vibe of the unit like?
Loose. We're loose, but we need to perform better. Like you said, 7 shots hasn't been great the last 2 days, and we need to take more pride in that and come out firing tomorrow.
You know, it occurred to me when I was covering you in training camp back here, I don't think we were asking you guys about individual plays and things of that nature. This has really evolved, hasn't it?
It's really evolved big time.
T.J. Watt says, this just in, 7 shots has to be better. I mean,
yeah, exactly. But it's interesting to hear his perspective on it and see what thoughts are coming to mind. This is all about the guys being out there going after it, and I love it. Just absolutely love it.
Of course, it's also all about the people that show up here at St. Vincent College, and one of those, a pretty familiar face. That's right, that's James Harrison, and look at him here, Wolf, working with Nick Herbig, the second-year linebacker, a guy that Mike Tomlin mentioned again today. A big jump.
You see the technique
is expected.
Do you see what he's doing? And I will give you a little history on this. Years ago, when James was playing against Tyron Smith, the great left tackle from the Dallas Cowboys, he absolutely was killing Tyron Smith with that exact move. I'll never forget it because the next day I saw him in the weight room, and I said, James, I saw what you did. It's a slap trap. You get the slide by with the elbow slide by. It's a wrestling move, right? And he goes, don't tell anybody. I said, no problem. No problem. So it's out now. Cat's out of the bag, but Nick Herbig's working. That was James' go-to move, and he made a great career out of that move right there.
And how about Nick Herbig? He was tutored through social media by T.J. Watt when Herbig was at Wisconsin. Now he's getting pointers from James Harrison. So what do you think? Defensive Player of the Year this year, next year?
Could well be. He's on an escalated whatever path to it.
He's getting some quality instructions.
Quality instructions, and I say congratulations to him to seek these guys out. Congratulations to T.J. Watt to take the time to share with him, and also for James Harrison, because James Harrison was a devastating pass rusher. What he just shared right there in front of our eyes, right there again, that is a great technique, and let me tell you something. He hamstrung many an offensive tackle who were much bigger than him with that simple move.
Look at Harrison. He's retired.
Oh, I know.
How many guys you think look like that in the league?
No, and you know what? He could still put on shoulder pads. And, somebody asked me today, hey, could you still suit up? I said, yeah, 3-piece, I could do that.
I mentioned T.J. Watt, no team stuff for him today. Very little for Russell Wilson again. Play here or play there.
Right.
Not much going on. Isaac Seumalo had the always attractive bucket hat on today rather than a helmet.
He was enjoying it.
And Minka Fitzpatrick not doing any teamwork today as well. He did individuals. So that meant extended work for DeMonte Casey at safety, Herbig at linebacker, and Spencer Anderson at guard.
Spencer Anderson looks good. He is quietly having a very nice set of padded sessions going along. Whether he's playing center, guard, or tackle, he's obviously been applying himself in the offseason. He's doing a nice job. I'll tell you another guy that's starting to make some noise down there is Dylan Cook. He's been looking pretty good at that offensive tackle. Kudos to him. He's looking good.
Wolf, if I heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times. Let Dylan cook. The people want to hear it. They want to see it. They want to experience it.
I almost missed that. But, I pulled it in, and I was able to nail it. Thank you.
I'll tell you another guy who's looking pretty good down there, and it's a guy we have been continuing to talk about. Beanie Bishop, the undrafted cornerback from West Virginia via Minnesota, via West Liberty. Beanie Bishop continuing to run with the first-team nickel defense as the slot corner. He spent some time after practice today with our colleague and new Steelers Radio Network play-by-play man, Rob King.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. Yes, I'm here with Shannon Beanie Bishop. Beanie, great to have you here. You went through OTAs. You're here now in camp. What have you found to be the biggest adjustments moving from that to now these padded practices?
Just the intensity level. Guys are coming out here to compete for spots on the roster. In college, they keep everybody, the walk-ons and things like that. And here, at the end of the day, it's going to be 53 men on a team. So, you got to come out here and you competing against grown men, to have, wives, kids, and things like that. And you ultimately here to, win the job from someone else.
So before we get into things that are going on in camp, when you go back to college, you had an extremely productive career, second-team All-American, not drafted. Did that surprise you, and does that give you a little extra motivation?
Yes and no, because, I was kind of getting the grade of like 4th to 7th undrafted and things like that. But, it was just something that I kind of always, had going on in my life as, being undervalued and, overlooked and things like that, and always having to play with a chip on my shoulder. Even going into college, there was a lot of teams that told me, we need bigger corners, right now and things like that. But it just took me a little time to develop and be able to pick my weight up and things like that. But, I feel that I have the heart to, play and be an angry guy running and, little angry guy like Coach Tomlin says. But that's like the ultimate thing of always having a chip on my shoulder. So, this kind of just added fuel to the fire.
So you've seen a lot of Calvin Austin. I don't know if you guys are getting more intimate out there in the field. You guys have seen a lot of each other. What has it been like going against him in practice?
It's been good. Another short guy, twitchy and fast. So me and him, we have our battles. We even eat lunch together and things like that, and, go to Bible study together and things. And just, after each rep, I just ask him, like, yo, like, what did you see right there? Or, things like that. So it's not just only a competition between me and him. At the end of the day, I make the 53-man roster. He make the 53-man roster, and it's going to be guys in the league that I'm, that might see the same thing. So just being able to prepare myself for that.
One of the fascinating things that happened in practice today was in these goal line pass drills. George Pickens is out there, and a coach is saying, no, let's get Beanie out here. That's got to feel good. And what was it like going against George Pickens?
It's good because, there's going to be guys that play in the slot, bigger guys that play in the slot that may not be as twitchy as guys like Calvin and Scotty, that I'm going to have to guard, and they're going to look to, play, throw the fade ball and things like that. So, it's just always great to get that kind of work, because I haven't really been seeing a lot of GP because it's been me and Calvin. So that's just good work right there, and, always being able to, develop my game and be able to see things that I won't normally see.
Beanie, it's been fun watching you, and it's been fun talking to you. Thanks very much.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mike, now back to you.
Thanks, Kinger. Wolf, Beanie Bishop, he's been number one as the slot guy since we got out here, but the guy who's number two, Grayland Arnold, who's played some ball in the league for Philadelphia and Houston, he had an interception today for the second consecutive day. He picked off Kyle Allen yesterday and John Reese Plumlee today. So one way to kind of change that pecking order is to be a little splashy, isn't it?
It is indeed. One of the things I like about Grayland Arnold is the fact that I believe both interceptions were man coverage, and he fell off his coverage to pick off the ball. Very headsy play. Great stuff. And then Beanie Bishop, call him Bangin' Beanie Bishop, because the guy really does a good job of playing with physicality, bigger than his chest size, his height size, whatever. He has got a big heart.
Little angry guy.
Yeah, I love that.
Plays with an edge, unlike, as he calls them, those tall, pretty corners.
Excellent.
Hey, Yin's Chat Challengers are back. This week is Training Camp History Challenge featuring a football autographed by T.J. Watt. Answer trivia this week to compete against Steelers United Nation for a chance at that autographed T.J. Watt football. All kind of fascinating questions regarding the Steelers and St. Vincent College. Wolf, last thing for you. The temperatures rose today. Is that the end of it, or will some people show up here tomorrow with some scores to settle?
Oh, there's no doubt that you're going to carry a personal scorecard. Now, it depends on what the head man says tonight, because if you start any of the situations where, you get in a fight, you got to run around the field, hold hands with your partner, then I can see that calming everything down right away. But, you got to let the big dogs feed a little bit.
That was it was fun. It was interesting. It got the temperature up. It got the emotions up, and maybe a little boost here on the second day in pads here at St. Vincent College. That's going to do it for us. Don't forget, I'll be back in this chair tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Max Starks will be to my left where Craig Wolfley is sitting, and we'll bring you another version of Training Camp Live. Until then, for Craig Wolfley, I'm Mike Prisuta. This has been Training Camp Wrap-Up presented by the UPMC Health Plan. Good afternoon, everyone.